One question I get a lot is whether fundamentals or storytelling is more important. Brendan, should we be focusing on the basics or mastering stories and how to weave them? And today, in this week's episode of Master Talk, I'm answering just that. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Brendan from Master Talk here, your go-to channel to mastering your talk. And today we're covering the famous debate between whether fundamentals, mastering the basics, or mastering the art of storytelling should be prioritized. So let's get into it. Let's start by discussing the importance of storytelling and why so many coaches recommend practicing it. Stories allow you to dive into the emotions of your audience, to make them relatable to you, and to make them feel like your message is pertinent to them. But another thing I want to add is, how do you practice them as a beginner? Do you read fiction novels all day? Do you watch Disney movies and figure out, how do I add Mickey Mouse into my presentations? And you can follow me with the rationale as I'm explaining how very counterintuitive it is to practice storytelling. It's not as clean and cut as mastering the basics would be. So that's why I always recommend for beginners to focus on the fundamentals first. And after mastering those basic elements in a presentation, you can leverage storytelling to your advantage. Another way of looking at this is, if you have the best story, but you tell it really poorly, then the story doesn't stick. But if you have very strong fundamentals, then your stories will be amplified to your audience. Much like how a professional sports athlete doesn't just think about the cool tricks that they do, they master the fundamentals, right? They get the tricks right. They get the basic skills and elements of their craft correctly. And then, and only then, they master the game. Let's use an example, an odd one to be frank, to demonstrate the differences between fundamentals and storytelling. I call this the garlic bread analogy. Picture this. It's 7 a.m. You're walking into your favorite baker and you buy yourself a loaf of bread. My question to you is, as you're walking out of that bakery with your PJs on, you get back home, would you eat that piece of bread? And the answer is fairly simple. Well, yeah, Brandon, I would. I mean, it's fresh bread and it tastes great. And my reply is, you're right. Bread is amazing. But if you take garlic butter, right, the stuff that you put on bread to make it garlic bread, would you just eat the garlic butter? Now your response would probably be no. Why would I just eat garlic butter? Which brings me to my next point. Bread's great, but if you can put a little garlic butter on it, maybe not in the morning because it's the morning and who has garlic bread in the morning, but if it's at a summer barbecue and you're spreading a little garlic butter to make it garlic bread, man, is it going to be tasty. You can feel the taste of that garlic bread and how it enhances any barbecue. In this example, bread is fundamentals and garlic butter is storytelling. If you have strong fundamentals and you have a fresh loaf of bread that you're eating, your presentation will still be really good. But if you have really good storytelling but poor fundamentals, which in other words means you're just eating garlic butter, it doesn't taste that good and you kind of want to run away from it. But if you have strong fundamentals and you put a little garlic butter on top, a little bit of storytelling, you sprinkle it on there, well, garlic bread becomes an amazing experience for everyone to share. So what does this mean? It means that master fundamentals first. So as you become a better storyteller and as your confidence as a speaker rises, you'll have the best piece of garlic bread in town. If there's anything you take away from this presentation, it's the following. Isn't garlic bread amazing? But seriously though, storytelling and fundamentals are both important. But if you were to focus on one, especially as a beginner, I highly recommend you start with fundamentals, because as you'll learn in public speaking and as you get better, the advice becomes more and more vague. When you're mastering pauses, silences, ums and ahs, you know exactly what steps to follow. But if I tell you to give me a story, you're gonna look at me and say, well, how do I do that? What are the steps? The truth is the steps aren't as clear cut. So master fundamentals first, and then wow your audiences with the art of storytelling. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of Master Talk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And I'll leave you off with this. If you know one person that is struggling with fundamentals versus storytelling or just likes garlic bread, send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to mastering their talk. See you next time, everyone.